just kind of dealing with that, like where to go with it, where like how I can handle like people contacting me saying like I'm interested in training, like what do you recommend? Like so there's just a lot of like kind of cool opportunities that have opened up that I have to answer a lot of questions. They're good questions to have, but I'm kind of working with those right now. And then in terms of training, my ankle is doing so much better. I feel like this past week I've really made like a breakthrough in terms of like finally getting able to do like a lot of the squat like patterns. Like so like I've been doing like slant board squats, ATG split squat, heel elevated is I'm finally able to do again. And I feel like those are just helping me so much. So this past week has been like a really good week in terms of training, and then also just like an unexpected opportunity with this. So
just with the TikTok, what over the last couple of weeks, how much followers have you expanded out to now?
So like I kid you not, 3 days ago I was still at like 45 followers, and that was just like all the followers from like the TikTok group chat. And I mean, let me check right now what I'm at, because I mean it's literally been like I'm at 3,000 followers now.
Oh shit! Holy crap!
Yeah,
In
and
3 days.
it's literally just this like I have 2 videos now that are really going crazy, but it's like I think the big thing is, and it's what Nsima was talking about, just getting that content out there. And so when you finally get one of those videos that take off, people look at your account and they realize, all right, this guy isn't just posting a one-off video that happened to go viral. Like he actually has some really good like stuff, and I want to see where he goes with this. And so I think that's why a lot of people are not only liking the post but then like following me, is because because I already had like 2 weeks worth of videos that really hadn't gotten any attention, maybe like a few hundred views. But like once I finally got that one breakthrough video, I think people saw, okay, this guy, he is pretty serious about this. He has like content already out there, and he's continuing to put out content. And so I think that was the big thing that kind of helped me, is that I already had a few weeks worth of video under my belt.
Yeah. Okay, that helps. And how many times were you posting per day?
I was doing the 3 times a day, like
3 times a day,
yeah. And I was like, I would watch a few videos that talked about like what are the best times to post, and it's also kind of just like a figuring out game. Like I was doing the times that they recommended, but then I kind of adjusted it to like whatever I found was getting the most attention. And so for like my time zone, I found like 4 to like 6 p.m. is like the really like prime time hours that I was getting like the most views and likes. And so I mean right now, I think since I have like a little bit more of a following, I'm gonna like cut back on the 3 times, just because it is really hard to like think of like 3 videos for each day. Like it does take some planning, but I'm still gonna do probably like a video or two each day, just to keep it going, like keep it rolling.
Yeah, you got momentum now, right?
Yeah, and I think that's the biggest thing. It's like once you get that momentum and like that initial fan base, which then like they'll get those videos out, which initially you didn't have. And I think it from there, it's just kind of like a snowball effect. Like it just keeps like it keeps growing, it keeps growing. So I think that's the big thing.
You've inspired me today to really take action on this. This is really cool.
Yeah, because I even saw like when one of the last videos you had posted a few days ago, like the hanging one, like that got like 700 views.
Yeah,
I mean,
crazy.
and that was pretty good, because even I was only getting a few hundred, and I saw that I was like, damn, like 700 views, like,
Yeah,
and it's the marker keeps moving. It's like
it
once you get
does.
over like 500 views, like then the next goal is like, all right, get a video with 1,000 views, and like just kind of keeps going.
Yeah,
And I really do think TikTok rewards you for staying consistent with your publishing. I really do think the more you publish, the more they'll push out your content, even if your content isn't getting a lot of likes. Like they'll reward you for that.
They will. Yeah, and that's the thing. It's the hardest thing is to keep the content consistent.
Yeah.
But Was there a change in your mindset with the posting? Do you feel like it's more of a job? Like this is like the job that I have to do as a coach. I do now need to post minimum three posts a day.
I mean, yeah, I did kind of like adopt that mindset. Like I was like doing research, and I know it sounds like you're just scrolling through TikTok, but I was like looking like what
Of
trends
course,
are,
right? Yeah.
I was looking at what trends were going, what like sound bites people were using a lot, and also just like learning from like my editing, like from when I first started. Like when I first started, I had a lot of like text on the screen that would be at the bottom half, but the hashtags and stuff would cover it up, so it'd be really hard to see. And so like I just kind of like started to learn, like if I was viewing this content, would I think like this, like would I think myself like, oh, this looks really
Mm.
professional, or would I think like some guy made this like video in 5 minutes? And so like some of my videos, like when I'm editing it, it does take like 15-20 minutes like for me to like get like the clips to be like the right size. And that in
Yeah.
itself is video duration is huge, because TikTok has that feature where they'll show you the analytics of like each of your videos, and they'll show like how long each video like someone is watching. And so like I found a lot of people on my longer videos, they weren't staying around. They were only watching like 20% of the video, and then they're swiping away. And so I found like 8 to 20 seconds is like the golden area. That's like the long, like 20 seconds is like the longest amount of time I can keep people on my video, unless it's like really interesting, which it's
Mm,
pretty hard to have.
mm.
And so yeah, it's learning little things like that, like all right, people aren't liking the long videos, like people aren't liking the videos where it has like the automated voice rather than my own voice. Like
Mm,
so it's
mm.
kind of a learning game. And I mean, in that sense, it is kind of fun, like seeing like how you can like really like work the system, and what's gonna like how that's gonna reward you and stuff in terms of like feedback from like fans and likes, comments. So
Mm. Okay.
I think that's a big thing.
Yeah, well, that's pretty cool, man. It's nice. It's nice to see that the application is proven once again.
Yeah, because
Mm,
I mean, it's easy for like Nsema to like say like, oh, get on TikTok. Like that guy's like an
yeah,
insane physique. Like he's already been on social media for a while.
same, same
And so
physique.
it's kind of like, okay, Nsema, like it's easy for you to say that, but like like just to like have that reassurance that like, no, like if you do stay consistent, like this can happen for anyone, like if they're dedicated to it.
Mm, mm. And it's still early days too. That's the thing. Like I feel when I approach a few people with this idea and they think, oh, it's a little bit too late, a little bit too late. I'm like, man,
Yeah.
it's still early days. Like it's still a lot of opportunities. Probably another year at least.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
that's
completely agree with
that's
that.
a long time, man. It's a long time to
Mm,
build an audience in 12 months.
yeah.
You
No,
imagine another
absolutely.
12 months, man, of you doing that, dude. Like you're on 3,000 now, like, and obviously that's in the last 3 days, but you can imagine times that by 12 months. Like, holy shit, like that could potentially, that could potentially be a business for you right there.
No, yeah, yeah, and that's like the
That's the
coolest
thing.
thing. It's like there's like so
Mm,
many opportunities that this could potentially lead to, that like I'd never even like really considered, like
of
the
course
even
not. No.
a week ago.
Uh,
Because yeah, you see
yeah.
people with like these huge followings, and it's like, oh, that'd be awesome to have like that, like Ben Keegan, like Nsema, even who is it, Graham, that has a pretty big
Yeah.
following on
Yeah.
TikTok
Graham,
as
I
well.
think Graham does really well as well.
Yeah, and so it's like it's cool to look at those guys and be like, oh, that'd be awesome. And then like when the opportunity actually presents itself, it's like, holy crap, like this could actually be something. And so I don't know. And it's like our group is still like ATG as a whole is still so unknown. Like yeah,
Mm,
in my videos, a bunch of people are like tagging Ben and stuff, and they're like, oh, knees over toes guy, like part 2. And I'm like, oh no, like I'm not trying to like rip off Ben. Like I'm inspired by Ben. And like there's just so many people that don't even know about him yet, which is like crazy to us. But like
of
they're
course.
like the fan base on TikTok is massive compared to like what we've been able to touch. So I mean, it is like, because even like guys are like messaging me oh, like I have knee pain, like do you think I could like get better by doing these? And it's like even and it's like other guys are commenting like, oh, like I've been doing Ben's workouts and like my knees are amazing, like this stuff is legit. And it's like awesome to see those messages like of
Mm,
people that are not only vouching for it, but also people that are actually like interested in learning more about it.
yeah. I guess it's jumping on the trend before it's hot, right? I guess that's
Yeah.
TikTok, but I also think that's the ATG stuff as well.
Hmm.
And this is really cool, dude. This is great. That's amazing. That's awesome.
And I mean, like I literally do believe like anyone like in not only the grapplers group chat, but like anyone like in the ATG like a TikTok group chat, like everyone has the opportunity to like grow a following, whether it's like a few thousand, a few 100,000, like who knows, like but everyone can develop a following that like they could like potentially go places with. I really do believe that.
mm, mm, it's great. Um, I actually have a question for you today. Neck injuries. Um, for your experience in wrestling, how common is it to see neck injuries? Have you had a neck injury, and what have you done in the past to mitigate that?
So yeah, that's a really good point because I saw someone, I think I forget who it was, they had reposted something on their story about like keeping like neck health like top shape for grapplers and stuff. And
Yeah, my neck's screwed at the moment. I just got back into jiu-jitsu training full time after a couple months off, and then I think it's just been an overuse of getting
Mhm.
snapped down with the neck.
Yeah.
So obviously, I feel that that's pretty common in wrestling. So I just wanted to see, yeah, what have you done in the past? Have you had
So
any teammates? And yeah,
yeah, I'd say like so like in high school, I wouldn't say like neck injuries or that common. It's kind of more like once you get to like the college and senior level and you get those more years of like wear and tear on the body that they can
okay,
really start to add up. Like for high school, our coaches like never really did much in terms of strengthening it, other than we would do like neck bridges to warm up. That was probably the most we did in terms of like working our necks. But um, one of like I bought a strength program for wrestlers like a few months ago, and it was like from the head strength coach of like a really big university in the U.S. who has a pretty successful wrestling program.
mhm,
Um, and he had a lot of like neck work, which I thought was great. A lot of it was just like partner stuff or like the person who was working, like they would kind of like stand stiff as a board, and then a person would have like a towel on the side and they would kind of like lean over. So like keeping like like a straight line throughout the entire body. But obviously that's working like the neck muscles.
mhm,
They had that. They had like where you would lay down on a bench, and same thing. It's with a partner. They put a towel on your face, and you're like resisting. You're resisting the force as them pushing down, kind of
mm,
thing. So a lot of partner stuff. But I've seen guys like use bands, like they'll attach a band to a rack, and then they'll walk out a bit with the band like attached, and so like it's still challenging, like the neck muscles like resisting. And I'd say that's like the biggest like in terms of like neck strengthening that I've seen within like the US. Like I know some guys like have like the head harnesses you can buy, and
I've seen that. Yeah.
you can attach the weight, and so you can do like up and downs, like side to sides. But yeah, a lot of it's like partner stuff. That's like the big thing.
That resistance bands, fuck, I might even do that today. Just tie it up to a table,
Yeah.
do it on a tabletop position, just start, yeah, walking out to the sides to get that stretch and pull back.
Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting.
It's a
Definitely
very
feel,
like underappreciated form of like strength training for grappling in general, I'd say.
yeah, it definitely is. And there's no real I haven't seen anything like really out there for necks. Like there's heaps of little necks, there's next exercises, but there's nothing really for like a specific program or anything like that.
Yeah.
Actually, while I'm talking about it, I wonder if it's on the Have a look on the Mighty Network as well.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Could have a look. Let's have a look. So send a message. Okay.
Here,
Did you
let me
did you
find out the name of that strength coach really quick because he might have posted some stuff on Instagram as well.
how's training been this week?
It's been going well. Like I said, finally getting that ankle back.
Yeah, it's
Back
cool,
to
man.
full health helps a lot in terms of just kind of being able to diversify my training again. Like I still every other day I'm still doing like ankle work, like specifically, but
Hmm.
then on the other days like I'm able to incorporate a lot more variety just because that ankle is finally loosening up and like I'm finally able to like invert it and like exvert it like I still feel
Nice.
like a pull on that outside ligament that I hurt, but like its range of motion has improved so much.
Really.
So yeah, I couldn't be happier with it. Cause I mean, um, it was like a month ago, like this past Thursday. So I feel like in a month it's made a really big turnaround, which I mean, going from being able to barely walk to now this, I'm just happy about.
Yeah. I just sent. There's a video of Ben doing a tutorial. I sent it on the Telegram chat. Yeah, man. It's good to be healthy, dude. Perspective.
Yeah. And I mean, it's made me appreciate like the health that I have like so much more. And it's kind of unfortunate that it does take like events like that to be like, oh, I was so appreciative of like just being able to walk, like
Yeah.
doing simple things. And so I've been just trying to be like more mindful of like the health that I have, like both mentally and physically, and just being grateful for that. Because you never know, like nothing in life is certain, as we all know.
Yeah, man. Fucking life can just get taken away from you just like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Perspective. Stretching, refreshing. Yeah. What's your goals with training? Like, do you have any competitions coming up, or do you compete, or?
No. So right now, the main thing, obviously, getting the ankle back, and then also I have that opportunity to work as like an assistant coach with the local high school for wrestling.
That's great, man. It's fucking
And
awesome.
so getting back in wrestling shape is another one of my goals. So I'm finally able to get back on the bike again with my ankle. So I've been doing that. Lungs were feeling it for the first time yesterday, but yeah, I just want to get back in shape because I mean, obviously, like I want to make a good impression on these kids and not just be completely gassed after the first
Hmm.
practice.
Yeah, of course.
I'd say right now those are my biggest goals is just getting back into like wrestling shape and then like getting this ankle all set.
Man, since I've got back into jiu-jitsu, dude, the fucking conditioning is just like, oh my god, I completely forgotten about how awful it was to train jiu-jitsu.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
that
like
first week back.
what's like working like being in working out shape and then being in grappling shape are two completely different things and it's
Fucking
very
earth, man.
humbling.
Yeah, it is. Man, that's a great point that you just that's Mike Grundy. I'm checking it out. Yeah, it's a great point that you said. Like being in physical shape is like one thing, but like being in grappling shape, dude,
Yeah, it doesn't
that's a,
even compare.
doesn't especially wrestling, man. Like fuck, dude, that's
Yeah.
have to be conditioned for that shit. What is it? Messages.
I mean, I can remember my first ever wrestling match and like I was coming from like a soccer background and I mean, as soccer players, we like to think we have pretty good conditioning, but that first wrestling match, I thought I was going to throw up because of how exhausted I was. Like I couldn't believe it.
Dude, I remember my first competition. Yeah, I feel like I was gonna be sick.
Yeah. And I'm sure the nerves play into it big time, but like
Of
it's just
course.
a completely different thing.
Oh, he fights in the UFC.
For
Yeah, retired freestyle wrestler. Oh, you
I
got the
think
bronze medal.
I think that's
2014.
different, Mike Grundy.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because
I'll put
I
strength coach maybe.
yeah. If you also do like Oklahoma State, that's the college he works at.
Oh, American football coach.
Yeah, he does no, that isn't him.
Man, there's a
I'm
lot. There's a lot of gun. Yeah, maybe if I change this.
no, I might have goofed on the name. It's been so long since I've looked at this guy's stuff. Because he does have some good things, but I mean he just kind of has that traditional like strength coach like mentality in the US where it's like the Olympic lifts, like just like the traditional thing you would expect.
Okay.
But I thought his neck work is like for wrestlers, you can't go wrong with it. Let's see.
Oklahoma State.
No, unless this dude literally just left Oklahoma State.
Really? Hmm.
Let's see.
Can't find it. Okay.
Here, let's check on Instagram.
Um, I'll just put strength training.
Okay, I found his. Here, I'll put his name. I finally found it.
Okay. How funny he's a UFC fighter. Huh.
Yeah, that is funny. I forgot. He actually fought a few weekends ago, I think.
Really?
The Mike Grundy guy.
I haven't been watching UFC lately.
That should be
Okay,
it.
Gary. Let's get that bad boy out. All right.
Like
Yeah.
if you had a stereotypical image of a American strength coach, that's basically him. Kind of overweight.
Hey man, you gotta love the Americans. You gotta love the Americans. I love it. I love them, man. It's like nothing but love, man.
Yeah.
I'm repulsed with the Australians, dude. They just goddamn, they get on my nerves.
I mean, you can't blame. It's more so you guys as a government that. I mean,
Yeah, that's true, man. Yeah, we're going back to the prison colony days, you know.
yeah, yeah, it's crazy. Yeah,
Super wild, dude. You just have to laugh. Just gotta laugh. I guess it's like, yeah, man. It's just the importance of just being in your own bubble. Work home so
hmm
much strength and conditioning. This might be it. I think that's him. Anyway, I might have a Twitter. Does he have a Twitter? What's the best thing? Is it on YouTube or something? Oh,
I
looks
I
like
know he had
YouTube.
posted it on Instagram a while ago, but I'm sure he does have stuff on YouTube as well.
Yeah, Wrestling Pacific Strength Tips with
No, if
Oklahoma.
not, if not, I have like I bought the program and I can just
Oh,
screen
really?
record. I can screen record that section where they did all the neck work, and then I can just like send that in the group chat.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
So, because I mean, the program's only like 15-20 bucks, but it's like for one section, it's really not worth it.
Found him on LinkedIn. Nice. Yeah, seems like a cool dude. Yeah, very just very average looking
Yeah.
American dude. scary.
There's not an
Scary.
understatement.
No, it's definitely not. That's cool.
And that's sad. That's like that really is how majority of like head strength and conditioning coaches look at like the top universities. Like, yeah, you'll have like some young guys that are still in shape, but like all the old guys are pretty much out of shape. And it's like what Ben and Keegan talk about. It's like you should be able to like embody what you're having your athletes do. Like,
Yeah, dude. Well, it's
I feel
kind of
like it
like,
goes such a long way.
yeah. Well, it's like being a coach, but you're overweight and you're trying to tell people to lose weight.
Exactly.
Hmm. Fuck. Definitely we'll use this injury as an opportunity to create content for what's it called? TikTok.
Yeah. And I'm serious, like I know it's like a very like cliche trope that like Americans are like obsessed with like Australian accents, but like I
Really?
really do think like because I know Devin, a lot of his like videos he just uses like the automated voice. And when he hops in, like I do want to give him that advice. Like if people like prefer listening to like I think I have a pretty monotone voice, which I try to work on in my videos, but like if they like that voice more than like the automated, like I know they like Devin and like your guys' accent so much more. And like Americans are weird
Mm.
like that, but like you kind of have to like play into that a bit.
Okay. Yeah, that's fuck man. I guess never really thought about that. I guess when you're in your own country, you kind of get. I guess like it's like anything, right? If you're in America and you don't really take a notice of your accent,
Mm-hmm.
I guess as much. But when you think about it now, I know Australians love the American accent too. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I mean, it's the same in the US with like within different regions. Like there's the Southern accent, like the East,
Yeah,
like,
we
and
have
like,
the
so
same here. We have the same here.
yeah, exactly. It's in every place, like different dialects kind of. And like, if it's not a, like a form of talking that you're used to, like hearing all the time, like, I don't know why you're just like naturally drawn to it. It's like,
It is, yeah, it's cool, funky. But I think
it's,
it's a great point you said. It's really hone in your accent, really.
yeah. Because it's like Americans hear like a British accent, they just automatically think like, oh, this person must be super smart. Like he just has that. It doesn't make sense why that's the case, but like it is. So and it's like it is. It's like you just have to buy into those tropes, kind of like if it gets you like the attention, like that's all that like matters initially, like getting that following. So then you can actually then start posting what you want.
Mm, mm, mm. Oh man, these neck bridges look pretty good.
Yeah.
Oh man, what is that? Is that extension work? Yeah, it is extension work.
Yep.
Or is that? Yeah, because we do too much overuse of flexion.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like this, like looking at our
Fuck
phone.
man. It seems like every injury is like this, dude.
Yeah.
The overuse of flexion versus extension.
Yeah. It really is. Yeah. The shoulders, the back, like
Shoulders, yeah, the back.
it's very true.
Hmm. Is that the same with the knees as well? We got flexion, extension, knee extension. I guess it is too. The same with the
Yeah.
quads. Yeah, it is.
Yeah. It's people
Hmm.
just people overusing one aspect and not working the other as much. Because I mean, like that talk a few weeks ago about like grip, shoulder work, elbow work, like that. Just like I've been trying to incorporate that so much more into my training, and like that elbow pain, that was kind of nagging me for a while. Ever since I started doing like what Devin's been working on with like the flushing out the shoulder pain, it's been
Right.
helping my elbows out. And like I'm not even like it wasn't even intentional like for my elbows. I was just like doing it to keep up with my shoulders, but it's also had just a good effect on like my wrists and my elbows as well. So I really
Really.
do think Devin's on to something with all that flushing out shoulder pain stuff he's been working
Right.
on.
Yeah, I agree. I completely agree with that. Yeah, there's plenty of content up here on YouTube. It's just every fucking video is completely different too.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, I know like
Yeah.
I know some people in the like wrestling community aren't the biggest fan of neck bridges because I mean, if you do push it way too far, that can put your neck in a compromising position, but it's like anything, you work the range of motion.
Yeah.
Like you don't just
It has to
automatically
be a
like
pain-free regression, right?
exactly pain free.
Hmm.
Yeah, I mean, and even since we just started talking, like when I was giving the examples of the kind of like exercises that he has in it, it's like I mean, it is like you can break it down into like the isometric work of like that partner where you're trying to stay like in the straight line, like the concentric, eccentric work. And I mean, I'm sure if I really like sat down, you can break that into short range, long range training, like just like
Hmm.
any movement can be broken into. Like a neck bridge would probably be like a long range movement, like because you're
Yeah, I
really
agree.
the connective like tissue of the neck.
Hmm.
So yeah, that's definitely something we can go down and really like flush out and like polish in terms of like what would like be the progression steps of really building up a neck.
Zero program for neck ability.
Yeah. I
That
mean, even
hasn't been.
for MMA fighters and boxers, that's huge. Like if
Oh
you
my
have strong
god.
neck muscles, like you're reducing the likelihood of like concussions by so much. Just having that
Yeah.
ability to not let your head really like get rocked like that, especially for some of the big like you look at Yoel Romero. I don't know if you're familiar with him, but that dude's traps are insane.
Dude, he might have the most biggest traps going around right
Yeah, he literally has no neck. It just is like head and then traps. Like it's insane.
now. That's what you get from 30
Yeah,
years from wrestling. Yeah.
yeah, from wrestling, and yeah, I'm sure he has some other help from some supplements and whatnot. But that dude is a beast, and I know he said he worked his neck a lot when he was younger in Cuba. That
Okay.
was one of their big things. The Cuban
Um,
national team really hounds.
mm, Flexion, extension, rotation, and lateral flexion. Yeah, that makes sense. So those are the four movements of the neck.
Mhm.
So what's lateral? That's lateral. Oh yeah, lateral flexion bending out this way. Yeah. Yeah, fuck, I don't have much movement on that side. And then oh yeah, rotation this way, extension. Nice. Extensions this one. Okay. Oh, that's easy to remember. It's funny, you just uh find the movements of the positions that the joint is supposed to do and then strengthen them in all those areas.
Yep.
Rotation, lateral flexion. Hmm. Yeah, that's a big one, man.
Yeah, because like I just know like even like when you just like tweak your neck a little bit, like that affects like so much. Like just like even just like slowly being able to turn your head is like it's excruciating. So and that's just like doing from random stuff, whether it's like sleeping weird. So like it has like application to the sport obviously, but just in like everyday life, like I know for a lot of people that can be like debilitating, like having like neck pain.
I couldn't believe it. I'm like, this is awful. I
Yeah.
can't believe people will be quite happy to live with this shit.
I'm sure that first week of once practices start up and like I'm rolling with the kids, like I'm sure my neck is going to be killing, like just like how it is for you, because it is like getting pulled down is so painful. Like you don't even realize it.
Yeah. But I look back now, I'm like, fuck man, we didn't do a proper warm up with the neck.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
Think of.
so that's probably the other challenge is when these like arguably probably the most common injury to get from the neck is getting snapped down. Okay.
Mhm.
Yep, understand that. Completely understand that. But what was the warm up? What was the warm up for the class that you did to prime the neck?
Yeah.
That is a question that I don't think could be answered. At least I know the gym that I'm training at, they definitely didn't do that. Not to say that's a bad thing, but
Mhm.
it's definitely gotten me curious about, okay, maybe I think we have touched on this, but like specific positions that you're working on in that class is you need to have specific warm-ups for that class, and especially for snap downs, there needs to be some sort of neck routine
I agree.
to reduce that, because fuck, that's probably the most common way to injure your neck, really.
Yeah.
It's interesting. I think Devin jumped on. He's jumping on in a second.
What's up, fam?
Oh, what's up, dude?
Hey,
Oh
Devin.
my god, look at your hair, dude. You're fucking on point again. Everyone's got good hair in this fucking chat.
Yeah, we got no hairdressers open here in NZ though. Far out.
Yeah. Oh,
True.
that's
All right.
one you
What have I missed? What have I missed?
What did we miss, Tim? We talked about TikTok. Tim's had a great success over the last couple of days with TikTok, where he's grown his audience, about 3,000 probably plus in the last 3 days, through the consistency of posting 3 times per day. It's finally, obviously it was trial and experimentation, but he's kind of found a sweet spot with that, and as well, dude. So that was a big part. I guess before moving on with that, how have you been with the content of TikTok and all that? It seems to be super fucking consistent. Have you had any wins with that, or have you foreseen some challenges along the way? What's that been like for you so far?
So, firstly, Tim, nice work, bro. I'm seeing some 39.4K views here, and shit, it's awesome to scroll through yours and look at your first, like, I'm gonna say first 12 on the grid, and now there's one outlier there with 691. Excuse me one moment. Got a sneeze coming.
Bless you.
Oh, bless me. Oh, sorry, Tim.
Welcome back.
So you've got one outlier there in the first 12 of 691, but all the others, the other 11 are sort of 400 or less, generally speaking. And then you sort of scroll on, and then all of a sudden, basically 40,000, bro. So that's phenomenal. And and then the ones that follow after there's I see a 88.9 and a 148.2. So my assessment is we need to get our shirts off more, Lucky, because pistol squat guy over here got 150,000 views. So
shirts off for TikTok.
It is kind of like, it is some shallow stuff, but like I have noticed, like doing like the fancy stuff, kind of like what Ben does, like the ATG split squat, like people see that and they get cooked. They're like, what is this? Like, how can that guy get into that position? Like, and it gets them to stay on the video longer. And so, I mean, yeah, like it is kind of like clickbaity a little bit, but like, I mean, it's gotten the
Marketing, man. It's
attention.
marketing.
So, yeah. And so, yeah, and it's kind of like what you were noticing, Devin, like, yeah, those first few videos were nothing, but like, even since I've been getting all this like traffic to my page, like those older videos are now getting like a bunch of likes. They're getting a bunch of views. Like people are finding them. And so I was telling Lockie that like, it's like all it takes is one video to really catch fire. And then people will look at your profile. And if they see that you've been posting and you have a lot of really good informative content, they're more likely to follow you rather than just liking the post and moving on. Like they'll like it, they'll check out your other videos and they'll be like, oh, this guy's actually onto something. And they're more likely to follow that. I've noticed. And I was telling him like your shoulder stuff, like Devin, like can help so many people. And I know like if you just got one video to catch fire, like people would be hooked on that. Like, because I've been doing that stuff, and like Like my elbow, I was telling Lockie, and my shoulder are feeling great. Like you're onto something with that flushing out the shoulder pain, like series that you've been doing.
Thank you. Yeah. So what I would offer insight on the other end of it, and I'm aware of it, but I'm staying true to the journey right now. So what I'm aware of, to be quite honest, is I'm aware that if I take my shirt off, it's going to probably get some more attention in it. Just simply because that's the nature of the beast. Okay, there's not like there's not a tooting my trumpet thing. It's just the nature of the beast. Okay. However, because I do believe I'm onto something, I want those now 17 videos in the bank. And also the other thing I acknowledge about those videos is you don't see me. I'm face down for a lot of them. There's no like
it's in that room.
direct engagement. So I also know that that's not working in my favor in terms of getting clicks or likes. But that's okay, because the strategy I have in mind is that that's the sequence that really is the 1 to 17. And now I want to start layering in a bit more like alternative stuff to the flush your shoulder pain, and basically do the exactly what you're saying, like do the splits, the front splits with my shirt off, being cheeky or something, you know, because it is going to get, oh shit, that guy, because that's the formula that you've just confirmed works, but also in SEMA, Mark Bell, you know, and Ben Patrick, some local guys I know here, and NZ are doing really well with their online workout stuff and their IG content, and quite frankly, all their footage is with their shirt off. They're two pretty, or three pretty ripped, in shape guys, and whether you're male or female, there's a aesthetic appeal there, you know, or sorry, or non-binary or undefined as well, I should acknowledge. So yeah,
it's the realization that like for the average person, like they really don't like care what you have to say, like unless you look good to back it up. And so like that is kind of the crappy part, that like you have to like have your shirt off and like actually show that you know what you're talking about before people even trust you. Because like I said, if someone stumbled upon you're flushing out the shoulder stuff, like yeah, like it's not the most flashy stuff, but it literally is life-changing stuff. Like and I was also talking to Lockie earlier, like I think a big change that would help your content is like doing like voiceovers instead of using the automated voice, because for the average American, they hear like an Australian accent or like a British accent, like any foreign accent, and they're just immediately drawn to it. And I think that will like it's a little weird thing. And I was telling him like, because I even noticed that on my videos, I used to do like the automated voice, and then I switched to doing my own voiceover. And I was telling him like, I think I have a pretty monotone voice, and I try to work on it. And I was like, if people prefer to listen to my voice rather than the automated, like they're 100% going to do the same for you guys, just because of like the accent.
Yeah, that's interesting feedback. And this morning I was in a NFT auction, like a live auction that was run in Discord, which was a totally new experience, you know. And I didn't know that like in Discord you can create this stage thing, right? Where like it's basically like kind of like a live podcast scenario. So they had the auction thread, okay, the auction house thread, and then you're on there. I had my headphones on. You're listening to the auction being facilitated. So you would bid in the thread by entering your number while they were verbalizing, oh, 150 to whatever. Anyway, there was a couple of Australian artists who had NFTs up, and there was a Kiwi artist that I managed to secure his NFT. And yeah, every time there was an Australian or a Kiwi accent, the thread just blew up. Like the appreciation for the Australian and like even the facilitator, the guy was like, oh man, here's another fucking rad accent, you know? And it was like, oh, okay, like that's cool. Just like this guy just opens his mouth and has a Kiwi accent, and and y'all in love with him, you know. So yeah, that's really valuable insights. Thank you, bro.
It's great.
I think one, it makes it more I think it makes it more personable and more relatable. You know, now that you've said that, it's like, yeah, okay, that's a truth. You know, like when you hear a truth and you're like, yeah, that's true. You know.
And it's also like, I've always been a person, like, I hate listening to my voice like on like video, because I just think, like, obviously you hear your voice in a completely different way than how it actually sounds. And I've always had that like mentality, like, oh, I hate how my voice sounds on camera. And like the first few times, like it was like really hard to like record it and then listen to it and be like, I guess this is good. Like, and I've noticed like in the past few vids, I find myself more comfortable like talking over like a video. And I even did like my first like live on TikTok, and that was a weird experience, like just talking to a phone, like with no one, like yeah, people were giving comments and stuff, but to be talking to myself, like it's a weird experience. But it's like anything, the more you do it, the more you train it, like you're gonna get more comfortable and you're gonna get better at it.
Sure, man.
I
Practice.
think you just find you. It's like anything. It's the 10,000 hours, the 10,000 reps. You know, you just start to find a groove and you get your sweet spot. You know, it's true of anything that you put your mind and energy to.
Yep.
Oh, and that that's my NFT that I bought. They just announced it.
That's awesome.
That's cool, dude.
It's this Kiwi artist that I've followed on. I followed him on Instagram for quite a few years, just like in awe of his work. And then he just put up, I'm doing my first digital NFT. And I don't know, something in my heart, my gut said I wanted to just support this Kiwi, you know? And so I got in a bidding war with an Australian guy he drove me up and up, but I was adamant I wanted this thing, you know? And
Yeah.
it was cool experience.
No, that sounds
Right.
awesome. It's crazy
that's
where
cool.
all that stuff is going and what it will be in the future.
Yeah, imagine another 20 years, huh? Fuck.
Yeah. Well, I think for me, like one, it was I wanted to support a Kiwi, and two, he only had 4 pieces of art in the auction. So
Wow.
I bought the first one. It's the one and only of that iteration. It's one of 4, and it's part of a new set or series. You know, he's got 23,000 followers on Instagram who won't, you know, so many of them won't yet be aware of this NFT thing, but they obviously follow like his stuff. So, you know, and I'm in direct contact with the artist, and he just said, just hold it. I'm going to do everything I can to increase the value of that for you. So,
yeah.
I don't know, this was just like a random, like, actually, you know what? To make this relevant to the conversation, 2 weeks ago, I said that my 10 minutes a day of absolutely must get done was going to be crypto. It was 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, I remember.
Here I am on the call 2 weeks after saying that. And the result is I've bought something that has the potential to be increase in value, and is it rare and collectible? You know, potential. I'm saying potential. So, just as you know, you that's where my 10 minutes has been going, and you know, just as you've had the success in the TikTok space, I'm feeling the same success in the crypto space, I would say. So that 10 minutes makes
It's compounding effects. Compounding effects.
Huge effects.
That's cool. Here's another one for you, Devin. We were talking about neck injuries. My neck has been destroyed this week from training, just getting back into it, and definitely it was just an overuse of flexion. And sort of reminiscing when that sort of happens, and there was really no specific warm-up for necks, right? There's no real specific warm-ups. So for example, if we're working front headlock position, I don't think I've ever been in a class where they've actually done a proper neck warm up now. And now that I've been injured with my neck, I'm really sort of obviously going down this rabbit hole and just really seeing that, okay, this is another challenge that's in the martial arts space with neck health. And yeah, we're starting to see there's a big gap here, which if you look on all, I just had a little scroll on YouTube, and there's every video is different. There's no specific system, but the main move or the functions of the neck is flexion, extension, rotation, and lateral flexion. Being flexion would probably contribute to the majority of most of the movement. So obviously the dichotomy between flexion and extension is always prominent there. But have you injured your neck before? Or have you had clients, colleagues, or anything like that before? And what have you done in the past? Or do you have any ideas to expand on that?
Yeah. Okay. So, I don't recall any injuring my neck. Okay, I don't recall. Actually, yeah, there was a time when I was having like quite a burning sensation in my neck when I was getting ready for a boxing fight, and when I got hit at like a certain angle, I remember my neck would jar, and I think I'd lost some of the rotation. Now, to be upon reflection, I'll be perfectly honest and say that at that time, my lifestyle was not congruent with the demands I was physically putting on my body. You know, I was at a time in my life where I had my nightclub, my strip club actually, and I was on the weekends I was drinking and using other substances. So my central nervous system was not in a good way. So the first thing I'm going to say about this is like nothing trumps sleep, hydration, and good fuel for preparation and recovery in the event of any injury. I think the next direction or thing I would suggest is our positioning. A lot of the time, our neck positioning a lot of the times is far from optimal because of text neck. You know, like
yeah, this is the contribution of the Western lifestyle too.
Yeah, so that's the second thing I'd say. And then
I agree.
Third, and that connects to that, is that there's a lack of thoracic extension and rotation, generally speaking, that general pop and even more so BJJ athletes have because of that, the guard play and everything. So you've taken like text neck and then turned it into chin tuck flexion, and that that thoracic in that area down the chain is is redundant. Should I say? It's redundant. So as we often talk about in here, polarity. Like, what's the polarity of that? So yes, totally agree, Lockie, that like having some neck specific warm-up strategies could be good, just like the rest of the body. But I propose the notion that the 23 hours off the mat are actually where the greatest change is to happen for the neck. Does that make sense? Because I think those 23 hours are going to make the greatest contribution long term. Now in the short term, I refer to, and I'm going to figure out how I can drop this document. I'll email it to me, and then I'm going to drop it in the chat for both of you. So Joe DeFranco has the neck rehab strength program.
Of course he fucking does.
Specialization program. So
fucking Joe DeFranco.
I scroll down, and this is what I'm going to suggest here. and like I said, I'll drop it in the chat, is he has 3 main categories that he uses for this program. So category number 1 is SMRs, self-myofascial release, will basically open up. Then the second category is the strength, and then the third is integration. Now, he's a big believer of the iron neck. I know I saw you drop that Ben Patrick one in. So yeah, you are going to try and have to find some way to rig up something for the integration bit, but the SMR and the strength bit, again, giving you a look.
Okay.
And there's a number of options under there. So to wrap up my contribution on the neck is I'm going to email this to me and then link it in the chat here, and then we can look to share that later. I'm cautious about sharing it too much because it is one of Joe's, it's
Of course.
a program of his that he is.
Yeah.
So, yeah, hang on. Let me do that.
Iron necks. This is US dollars too. They start from $300 and they go right up to 600.
Well, have a look on AliExpress out of interest.
Okay. Maybe that's the next piece of equipment. Yeah.
I just bought a tib bar this morning.
Oh, bro, I just picked up my tip bar this week too.
Yeah, I just bought one because another Nikhil, who you guys may have seen, he drops into the Grapplers chat every now and then. You may have seen him in the community. He's actually a cricket coach, cricket player. He owns one. And
Really?
he did the old contactless delivery to me
Oh, bro.
to try. Oh, and
that's much better.
And the monkey foot. I've tried the monkey foot. The is it monkey foot?
Yeah.
Yeah. Just try.
I can't get the monkey foot in Australia.
Yeah, so you can. I've just found out. Well, I already had one on the way via like a friend of a friend over. But apparently there's this postal service where you can buy a product over there. It gets transferred to this thing who on forwards it to an Australian or New Zealand address.
Really?
So I'll find out what that is. That's how he got his hand on one. Like, so he got it sent direct to him in NZ, but it had to be like through an intermediary.
Okay.
I mean, here, suggestion right now, Lockie, is go online. You could order one, get it shipped to Tim. Tim could go and find out what the shipping is to NZ and
Oh, fuck. There you go. That's the problem solved.
send it on to you.
That's great.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, the
but-
monkey foot's been something I've been looking to get. Like, I have like the tib bar and like the Nordic thing that you can put on like your rack, and so you can do Nordic curls, but I hadn't bought the monkey foot yet, but it was something that I was really interested in. So I was wondering how it actually works and if you really like it. If you've gotten it yet.
To be honest with you, a cheap and easy solution that I've been using is you can get these, like, I'll run out and grab one in a moment. They're Velcro. So you know how it's a Velcro like packing bonder thing. So you think like a snap tie?
Yeah.
Yeah. So a Velcro version. So you wrap it around, and I had just been tying the dumbbell to the bottom of my foot using that. Now, if you want to save the money, it's great. That's just as effective, really. You know. Yeah. The monkey foot feels different. Now, I find it easier for the for the knee for the hip flexion, and then because of the positioning of the weight, because it sits on the heel rather than when I do the dumbbell, it's like more. It feels quite that short range hamstring feels quite interesting. It feels quite different.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of feels like you're gonna uppercut your butt with your heel. Yeah.
Hey, there's some neck harnesses here on AliExpress for like $10 US.
AliExpress, I tell you. And the great thing about AliExpress is because it is so cheap that, yeah, you might end up having to buy 3 or 4 different ones, but that's still $50. Like
Oh
you're
yeah, it's
still,
50
still
bucks compared
saving.
to yeah, 50 bucks compared to 600 bucks.
Oh,
Yeah,
That's
that's cool.
a lot of the ones that are really pricey, like they upcharge that so much that I mean,
course.
like a lot of times there really isn't a big difference between the stuff you find on AliExpress and things you buy at more like bigger brand stores and stuff. So yeah, AliExpress is a great website.
Mm. It's the strap where you kind of put through, and then you attach the weight plate through it, so then you can start doing extension and flexion.
there you go. Check the chat. I just shared that PDF document with you. It's 4 pages. Just check that it came through.
Yeah, it did. That's awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, especially for you,
Chat.
Tim, with the, actually on that note, I think Sambo guys and wrestlers have better neck strengthening and mobilization and warm up protocols than BJJ guys
Mhm.
because they do the neck
Mm.
rolling,
Yep.
whereas BJJ guys tend to, rather than neck bridge as part of the warm up, they do the hip bridge and rolls, but they don't go up onto the neck, But
Yeah.
you commonly do see that in Greco-Roman style wrestling, especially Sambo. Yeah, so maybe that's where the crossover needs to be. And also, I think, like to what you were saying before, Lockie, things that I've found simple for the neck is actually just like pulling the chin in, one drill, second drill, yes, nose.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, sir. And then nose, and then nice controlled rotations one way, controlled rotations the other way. And then remember that you can always self-resist on each of those patterns. And I think we overlook breath work again for relieving, because what's in behind the nose is this massive cavity, right? And even just like opening and closing the mouth, breathing space into there, that's going to...
I definitely think that's a contributing factor for sure. Absolutely. Yeah. Breath work is 100% with neck. Well, if you're breathing with your chest after you, sorry.
On that note, 4 days into this mouth taping experiment I've been doing.
Yeah, how's that been for you?
Highly recommend.
Okay.
I think you have to
you inspired me to do it as well, and I agree. My sleep's been really good.
Yeah. Well, I've had 2 nights where I've slept like less than I usually would, but I feel more. I feel like more energized or invigorated than I was 7 days ago. So yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, Lockie, I'll send you directly screenshots I took or photos I took of the 3 relevant pages from James Nestor's book, which
it's a great book. Great. Yeah, if you could do that, that'd be great. Could you screenshot those PDFs and send it to me? I can't get it up on the. I'm on my phone today, so I can't see the PDF.
Okay, yeah, I can do that. Actually, I'll just Telegram. I'll send it to you.
I'll just tell it. Yeah. Okay. Oh, yeah. Even better. Even better.
Oh, which one are you using now on? I'll just put which are you using the lock? No. Oh, that one. Is that the one you just waved at me?
What one?
No. Oh, yeah, there we go. There we go. Found it.
Found it.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway. All right. What's next on the agenda, gentlemen?
Tim, is there anything you want to add to that? But I guess that was the kind of the until you jumped on the call, bro. That's kind of like where we were kind of up, which man, obviously expanded on TikTok, and then we was just talking about the neck challenges. Beautiful, got that. Thanks for that, bro. Yeah, Tim, what do you got? If you got nothing, dude.
I was just gonna agree with Devin that wrestlers and like freestyle, Greco, whatever it is, they do work on the neck, but I would say it's pretty much just the neck bridges, and yeah, that's better than nothing. But I definitely think like yeah, jujitsu can work on it, but so can wrestling, because and even some wrestling coaches are really against the neck bridges because they'll tell horror stories of some guy who was doing a neck bridge and he just went way too far and like really tweaked something bad in his neck. But it was like me and Lockie were talking about. It's like any movement, you work the range of motion. You don't just immediately like rely on the connective tissue of the neck. Like you build it up. And yeah, I mean, literally every combat sport can benefit from it. And it was interesting when you were talking about boxing, because me and Lockie were talking about how it benefit boxers and MMA fighters so much. Like you think of guys who could take a punch like crazy, like Yoel Romero. He had an insane neck muscles, his traps, like, and you knew he really worked on that stuff. And so, yeah, I think it's something that really could be delved into. I like just the simple warm up of just the simple movements, full rotations, like even something like that is as simple.
Okay.
Yeah, I recall a few years ago, Dan Carter. You know who Dan Carter is, Lockie? So Dan Carter, former All Black, arguably the greatest number 10 of his era. Anyway, he had a neck injury, and he was doing a lot of stuff on the Swiss ball, like a Swiss ball against the wall, like laterally, leaning into it, behind, like, so that's an area that you could explore as well. And I think the wall, putting it against the wall, allows you to control the intensity a bit more.
Yeah.
Because of the angle.
Yeah, Dan Carter had a neck surgery.
There you go, surgery. Surgery. Yeah, that's more serious than I realized. Cool.
Yeah, man, it shows you how screwed you would be. Just fucking your neck, dude. Like, dude, you're completely out of the sport as far as I'm concerned. Like, yeah.
Remember, it was Brent Tate, the league player, who wore the neck brace because his neck, he had some kind of situation where his neck could extend too far back.
Really?
League player, look him up. I think it's Brent Tate. Yeah, and so they created this like kind of like brace that he always wore when he played, so that he could play out his career.
Really?
It's the NFL guys that you have to have some horror stories too. Actually, there you go. I think a good place for us to look for neck strengthening protocols is probably to the NFL, because they tackle with the head sometimes.
I think that's a great idea. Yeah, that's fucking awesome.
They must be. They must. And the other reason I suggest that is because comparatively, and this is why we do see people doing neck bridges and Greco-Roman and that, because the combat sports world is really, like, although it's been around for a long time, the modern era of it is still quite young. So what we're seeing is like commonly this, you do that because it worked for me type coaching methodology. Whereas by contrast, a sport like NFL, NHL is another one that would probably be worthwhile us looking at. NFL, NHL, sports that have high concussion rates and relatively higher neck injury rates are likely to have more research and protocols in that area because they have the money to be able to do it too. So yeah,
great point, dude.
That's very true. When I got to work for my internship with the college football team, they probably did like, now I'm just realizing it. I didn't remember, but they had done like neck work like probably 2 to 3 times a week at like the end of the workout. It was like what I was telling you, Lockie, like the partner stuff. It was like pretty much the same stuff as the wrestling video, as I'll send later. But yeah, they really focus on that because like we were talking about fighters, like if you have a strong neck, you're less likely to have a concussion. And football has such high rates of guys getting concussed that working the neck really is important for them.
Mm.
Because they had like the big machines that you could load up and like you sit and there would be like a pad against your head and you would do that kind of stuff. So like they invested a lot of money into that stuff.
Yeah, there's heaps of articles on this. This is great. If you just type in NFL neck injuries, fucking there's a gold mine of articles on this shit. Good conversation topic today. Because you're kind of fucked without it. Like, I mean, if you break your elbow, it's like, cool, like, whatever, like, you can, make it work, rehab it. You can still train. It's one arm, but it's not perfect, but you can still work. But if you injure your neck or your lower back, and forget about it. Like, you can't train. Can't even do the drills, you know what I mean?
Yeah, well, imagine you can't enjoy life, quite simply, if your neck, that.
quite simply, you're fucked in life.
Fuck, actually, sorry, I completely blanked because I do have a client who had a serious neck injury.
Yeah.
And he works at the hospital. He works in the emergency department at the hospital. He's been one of my longest serving clients. See him 3 times a week, and he's in his sheesh. What is he now? He's in his late 50s. Yeah, he's in his late 50s. But he's a mad keen surfer, and so what happened is he was out surfing, and he was coming back in, and he sort of misjudged the depth and that, and he got caught off guard, and basically he went head first into the sand, and he jarred his C5 or 6. Anyway, I'll be able to figure out what it is because it's directly related to tricep extension on his right. Like, it had very specific things, and that in theory I was able to read up about and understand, and then in practice observe that he couldn't do in real life in the gym, and he was when he returned to training after the initial stand down period, like, we were in the gym, he was in a neck brace for about 8 weeks.
Really?
And shit, we got some funny looks at the gym. Here I am, and because at this time I was at the big Globo gym that I previously worked at, that has, at the time, they had about 11,000 members on their membership roster. 50% of which were probably regular gym goers. So there was, across the week, they were having 4,500 to 5,000 people walk through those doors, And so it's a busy gym. And at any one time when I'd be training with them, there could be 50 to 100 people in that area or on that main floor. And yeah, now that I recall and reflect, we got some funny looks because he was in there training with me in this neck brace. We were navigating. Shit, I forgot about that. Forgot about that because he's back to, like, it's not even a thing really anymore. Like, I remember we had to do, like, I always put an emphasis on unilateral training anyway, but everything had to be unilateral training. I think on his right side, his tricep could extend to about there. Like, he just couldn't. It had just the nerve, the damage he'd done there, and the nerves that were coming through and like, I mean, we'd do single arm extensions on the left side and what we were doing on the left side, we could maybe do 5 to 10% of that on the right side.
Really?
So, loss of range, loss of strength.
Okay.
Yeah, it was massive.
Mm.
So the summary there is you've got to, you have to go and get an understanding. It's useful to go and get an understanding of what the anatomy books say about the neck, what the cervical vertebra do, each one individually, collectively. That gives you the overview, what ties in and meets in there, what supporting structures could be released and create more space and relieve pressure there. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's really important. You need to understand the structure of the framework of the neck to understand what needs to be done. It's good, man. Been some good conversations today.
Yeah.
Really good conversations. Does anyone else want to add to anything today? Anything like that? Like, I guess just kind of just a quick recap. You know what I mean? I think Tim had a really good win. I think all of us have had pretty good wins this week, to be honest. But the TikTok thing it's taken off. It really does work. It's not just like a thing. Just got to stay consistent at it. You got to be. I guess it is an art. Keep adapting, learning it, and make your content better. And we pretty much went pretty deep with the neck today. So definitely will be expanding on some of this stuff that we've talked about today. I guess with wrapping up the call, my 10 minutes for this week will be. Well, I have 10 minutes. One is the writing, still writing every single day, which that's, again, my writing's just gone through the roof because of that. But I actually do like what Devin said, 10 minutes on your crypto every single day. That will have a compounding effect. So it's my little 10 minutes this week.
Sorry, I got distracted for a moment there. Can you reiterate what we're doing? Sorry.
What part? The whole thing or just the last part?
Last part.
Last part. So the last part, just with the 10 minutes a day kind of thing. Had really success with the writing thing. The writing's really been helping. So I'm going to continue doing that, but I'm also going to take on board what you've done, Devin, actually, is to spend 10 minutes a day just on the crypto stuff, because that will compound quite quickly over the week, over the month. So it's something I'm going to be applying from today moving forward.
Yeah, the crypto, like, there's a compound effect of that 10 minutes.
100%.
Before, like 10 minutes over 30 days adds up to 300 minutes. That's 5 hours.
Yeah, 5 hours. Yeah, in a month. Yeah.
And the other thing that happens is not just the accumulation of the 10 minutes, the efficiency of your 10 minutes gets better. So, like,
that's
you
true.
Get more done in the 10 minutes. So, my stop or start or whatever last week was about, like, minimizing the phone use. And I have to admit, I just got distracted by my phone. But generally speaking, this week it's been a lot better when I haven't taken it into zone where it shouldn't be. And I've got a lot better of, like, applying that 10-minute rule to, say, responding to, okay, I'm going to jump on Instagram and I'm going to give myself 15 minutes to respond to as many messages as I can. And then I'm going to get away from my phone again. And that worked. That works really, really well. Actually, I don't think I've had an instance yet where I haven't got through those in the 15 minutes. So, yeah.
Love that.
Yeah, that's a really good one. I mean, I've noticed even like the past few days, like with the huge influx of like comments that I've been getting, I find myself just on my phone way much more than I'm usually used to. So I'm gonna do that where I set aside some time where when I'm specifically on the phone, it's literally just answering comments and like doing stuff related to the profile. And then also another 10-minute thing, I'm gonna take some time to sit down each day and like kind of figure out how I want to go about like now that I do have this influx of people who are interested in ATG and training, like how I'm going to go about that in terms of like if these people are actually willing to like do online training stuff, like setting up prices and stuff. Because right now I've kind of been like caught with like my pants down. Like people are asking for training, but I mean, I tell them there's a bunch of free content that ATG puts out, and I think that's a big thing. Like, I mean, I consumed ATG content for free for so long before I finally invested in it because I came to that realization that this stuff actually works. Like, and so having like an idea of where to direct people and also kind of like developing that like mentality of like appreciating my own self-worth and not
Mm,
just feeling the need
so
to
true.
give so much out for free. Because there have been guys like that have messaged me and they're like, I'm having like some issues. Like, what do you recommend? And like, I'll give them some workouts to do. But then in like the part of my head is like, it's like, I like, yeah, I want to help these guys, but at the same time, like, I could make this like a legit business opportunity. So I really have to sit down, like, look over prices and what I think would be fair, and also what also is just fair to my time and self worth. So it's like an uncomfortable thing to do, but like I have to get more comfortable like telling people like yeah, like this is how much, like if you actually want to do training, this is how much it's going to cost kind of thing.
Mm, yeah, I love that, man. Let us know what we can do to help.
No, yeah, definitely. Yeah,
Yeah,
I know some of you guys have had more experience in terms of like online coaching. So yeah, I'll
yeah,
definitely reach out with just like
for sure.
because I'm sure I'm going to have a bunch of questions once I really start getting into it.
Mm, of course, yeah, yeah. I'm still definitely figuring it out. I still don't have like a proper system as yet, but I've definitely been just when people ask questions, I'm like, hey, let's just jump on the call and let's see what I can do to help. And sometimes these conversations go for an hour and a half. Sometimes they don't go anywhere, and other times like, oh yeah, let's start. Let's start. Let's put a 12-week plan. They pay up front, and I'm like, fuck, okay, I wasn't expecting that. But I feel like the biggest change was definitely when people are asking questions instead of me just responding and doing all that. And I'm sure there's better ways to do this. So obviously take it with a grain of salt and probably make it better. But I just like, hey, let's just jump on a call and let's see how I can help you. And what can I do to make your life easy with your training.
Yeah.
And then kind of just essentially kind of freestyle from there, really. But yeah, there could be one way to asking them, what can I do to help, and kind of letting them kind of speak, and then you kind of, I guess it's kind of like a little cheeky market research question, really, as well at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's interesting, but yeah, we're figuring it out along the way. But
Yeah.
as long as you get paid to figure it out on the way, I think that's the best part.
Exactly.
Cool, dudes. Anything else? Anything like that?
I want to see my feed filled with your guys' videos this week.
Challenge accepted, dude. You've inspired me.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyone in this group chat, I know we can like grow our fan base so much more. Like if I can do it, I know you guys can 100% do it.
All right, shirts are coming off. Here we go.
Shirts are coming off, boys.
Woo! All right.
That's great. Yeah, you definitely inspired us all, Tim. Definitely, it's a nice reminder to keep consistent and yeah, you keep monetizing it. It does. Yeah, you do have a breakthrough at some point.
Yeah.
Love it.
All right, gentlemen.
All right, gents. Great talks, man. Really, yeah. as always, it's always fucking amazing.
Thanks, Lockie. Thanks, Tim.
Yeah, thank you, Devin.
See you later, team.
Thanks,
bud.
gents. Thanks, bro.